So we're at a unique time. This is a unique Easter, a unique Holy Week. I'm Phil Dvorak. I'm one of the pastors at Recovery Church. This is my son Judah right next to me. Say hi, Judah.
Hi.
You look real enthused, Judah. This is Amias over here who likes to hide from the camera a little bit, or doesn't like to hide. He loves the camera. And we have our dog Finley walking around, our daughter Abry, and Tobin, our son, our daughter Mabel. There's some others running around. I don't know who I missed, but we have 5 of them. It's different right now. This is unusual. You never thought you'd be... Oh, he's saying hi now. Say hi.
Hi.
Hi. You never thought I'd be sitting in my backyard and doing our sermons and our services this way. But there is something beautiful about it.
Hi.
One thing that really hit me... Oh, he still wants to say hi. We'll let him say hi a couple more times. Say hi one last time.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, now I'm going to tell you a story. Is that okay? Can I tell everyone a story? Come up on my lap. I'm going to tell you guys a story. Okay? I'm going to tell Judah a story too. So...
No.
Oh, you want me to tell you the story? I'll tell you the story. Okay. So we're going to do things different. You see, there's a story that really impacted me in my journey and faith. And so I'm going to share it to you right now and share it with my children right now. It's by a pastor by the name of Walter Wangerin or I don't know how to say his name. But the story is just a parable, an analogy of what Jesus did. And I want to challenge you. Close your eyes, listen to the story, and hear maybe something special that God is telling you. You see, I saw a strange sight. I stumbled upon a story most strange, like nothing my life, my street sense, or my sly tongue had ever prepared me for. So now hush, and let me tell it to you. Even before the dawn one Friday morning, I noticed a young man, handsome and strong, and he was walking the alleys of our city. He was pulling a cart filled with clothes, both bright and new, and he was calling in a clear tenor voice, "Rags!" Oh, the air was foul, and the first light filthy to be crossed by such sweet music. "Rags, new rags for old, I take your tired rags, rags." Now this is a wonder, I thought to myself, for the man stood 6'4", and his arms were like tree limbs, hard and muscular. His eyes flashed intelligence. Could he find no better job than this, to be a ragman in the inner city? So I followed him. My curiosity drove me, and I wasn't disappointed. Soon the ragman saw a woman sitting on her back porch, and she was sobbing into a handkerchief. She was sighing and shedding 1,000 tears, and her knees and elbows made a sad X. Her shoulders shook. Her heart was breaking. So the ragman stopped his cart, and quietly he walked to the woman, stepping round tin cans and dead toys and Pampers. "Give me your rag," he said so gently, "and I'll give you another." He slipped the handkerchief from her eyes, and she looked up and laid across her palm a linen cloth so clean and new that it shined, and she blinked from the gift to the giver. Then, as he had began to pull his cart again, the ragman did a strange thing. He put her stained handkerchief to his own face, and then he began to weep, to sob as grievously as she had done, his shoulders shaking, yet she was left without a tear. "This is a wonder," I breathed to myself, and I followed the sobbing ragman like a child who cannot turn away from mystery. "Rags, rags, new rags for old." In a little while, when the sky showed gray behind the rooftops, and I could see the shredded curtains hanging out black windows, the ragman came upon a girl whose head was wrapped in a bandage, whose eyes were empty. Blood soaked her bandage. A single line of blood ran down her cheek. Now the tall ragman looked upon this child with pity, and he drew a lovely yellow bonnet from his cart. "Give me your rag," he said, tracing his own line on her cheek, "and I'll give you mine." The child could only gaze at him while he loosened the bandage, removed it, and tied it to his own head. The bonnet he set on hers, and I gasped at what I saw, for with the bandage went the wound. Against his brow it ran a darker, more substantial blood, his own. "Rags, rags, I take old rags," cried the sobbing, bleeding, strong, intelligent ragman. The sun hurt both the sky now and my eyes, and the ragman seemed to more and more hurry. "Are you going to work?" he asked a man who leaned against a telephone pole. The man shook his head. The ragman pressed him. "Do you have a job?" "Are you crazy?" sneered the other. He pulled away from the pole, revealing that his right sleeve of his jacket flat, the cuff stuffed into the pocket, for he had no arm. "So," said the ragman, "give me your jacket, and I'll give you mine." Such quiet authority in his voice. The one-armed man took off his jacket, and so did the ragman, and I trembled for what I saw. For the ragman's arm stayed in its sleeve, and when the other put it on, he had 2 good arms, thick as tree limbs, but the ragman had only one. "Go to work," he said. After that, he found a drunk lying unconscious beneath an army blanket. An old man, hunched, wizened, and sick. He took that blanket and wrapped it round himself, but for the drunk he left new clothes. And now I had to run to keep up with the ragman. Though he was weeping uncontrollably, bleeding freely at the forehead, pulling his cart with one arm, and stumbling for drunkenness, falling again and again, exhausted, old, and sick, yet he went with terrible speed. On Spider's legs, it was like he skittered through the alleys of the city, this mile and the next, until he came to its limits and then rushed beyond. I wept to see the change in this man. I hurt to see his sorrow, and yet I needed to see where he was going in such haste, perhaps to know what drove him so. The little old ragman, he came to a landfill. He came to the garbage pits. And then I wanted to help him in what he did, but I hung back, hiding. He climbed a hill, and with tormented labor, he cleared a little space on that hill. Then he sighed. He lay down. He pillowed his head on a handkerchief and a jacket. He covered his bones with an army blanket. He died. Oh, how I cried to witness that death. I slumped into a junked car, and I wailed and mourned as one who has no hope, because I had come to love the ragman. Every other face had faded in the wonder of this man, and I cherished him, but he died, and I sobbed myself to sleep. I did not know, how could I know, that I slept through Friday night and Saturday and its night too. But then, on Sunday morning, I was awakened by a violence. Light, pure, hard, demanding light slammed against my sour face, and I blinked and I looked and I saw the last and first wonder of all. There was the ragman, folding a blanket, most carefully, and a scar on his forehead, but he was alive. And besides that, healthy. There was no sign of sorrow nor of age, and all the rags that he had gathered shined for cleanliness. When then I lowered my head, and trembling for all that I had seen, I myself walked up to the ragman. I told him my name with shame, for I was a sorry figure next to him. Then I took off all my clothes in that place. And I said to him with dear yearning in my voice, "Dress me. Dress me." and he dressed me, my Lord. He put new rags on me, and I am a wonder beside him. The ragman, the Christ.